Safety Town. You know it. You know it from the hit my Bim Bam TV show. Assuming, I mean, everybody was subscribed to CISO, so like, I'm assuming everybody knows about Safety Town. It is a thing in Huntington, but I came to learn while we were shooting that show that it is also a thing that is kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it was a modular thing in my town. So Safety Town was brought to you when I was a kid.
Oh, interesting.
We did not have a fixed location like you did.
There's lots of places that have that fixed location. So Safety Town is an educational facility for like elementary school age children to teach you about just sort of general safety, with a focus on traffic and sort of pedestrian best practices, let's call them, but also like fire, guns, drugs, poison, flooding, earthquakes, like whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the heart of Safety Town is like there's an educational building where you go in and you get kind of briefed on all of this stuff. And then, then once you're patient enough, you get to go outside to this mini replica city with go-karts that look like service vehicles, essentially, where you learn how like traffic works and you learn you learn what the signs on the road mean, and you learn how to obey traffic lights and walk crosswalk signals and like all of that stuff. And ours was like, Huntington's was very well maintained. Like our Safety Town was taken very seriously, evidenced by the fact that me and Justin and Travis got in a lot of trouble because we did Safety Town wrong as adults filming a comedy show.
Yeah.
That's the level of scrutiny.
To be fair, you did in your adult body climb into one of those vehicles and drive it around.
I was allowed to do that. It was the stealing of the batteries and moving of the huge expensive batteries that I guess was what got us kicked out of Safety Town. But like you'd go there on a field trip, which like I want to do a whole segment about field trips.
Yeah,
I saw somebody tweet like, why is it that the air on the morning of field trips like always hit different? And somebody responded to that like, it's like kind of foggy and a little bit like dewy outside. And I was like, holy shit, what's going on? Yes, it was. This is probably what got me thinking about Safety Town.
Yeah.
I always thought that like, I've talked about my weird relationship with school before, where like I tested really well and I was a terrible student. Like I didn't give a shit about learning anything, but I was really good at like kind of memorizing stuff just enough to get good grades and keep going by.
Yeah.
But anytime like something practical came about, I was like all about it because I was like, oh, I've always been curious about this actual thing that I experience every day. And so as a little kid, that is not a part of the required education. Like how do traffic do? Like how are you actually supposed to be safe on the streets when you are in the car with your parents, your guardians, whatever, and they are driving around and stopping at certain points and giving right away? Like what does all that stuff outside the car window mean? And this was a chance for you to actually finally kind of crack that code. Yeah. And I thought that was so huge, like so revolutionary. And it's not like driver's ed, right? Because you're essentially driving a big box with a gas pedal and a handbrake. And also, wicked, there were accidents. Like, the other thing about Safety Town is that when it is in use, it is explicitly not the safest place on earth because you got a bunch of kids driving around big go-karts while other kids are trying to cross the streets, and there's like 3 adults trying to like lock the whole thing down.
See, I'm curious about the age actually, because when we did Safety Town, it was like elementary school, like real early kindergarten kind of age, and we were using tricycles. So, but we were like
second, third grade.
Okay. See, at that point, didn't you kind of already know, like, I should stop when the light is red?
The accidents mostly happened because of lack of knowledge about how to operate a go-kart. So, like, I ran a red light in the mail truck, and I got, like, put in basically timeout for, like, 10 minutes, where I had to get out of the car, and I couldn't do anything. It was absolutely humiliating. So, Safety Town kind of got started in 1937. There was a dude whose name was Friend Bowles, which is strong. My name is Friend, F-R-E-N-D, Friend Bowles, B-O-A-L-S. He saw a car hit a kid, and that like really left an impact on him.
Yeah.
And so he started this sort of like traffic education school, which grew in 1964. There was a nursery school teacher named Dorothy Child, which is also like a wild name for a preschool teacher, who opened the National Safety Town Center in Cleveland, Ohio. And then I guess it just kind of franchised out from there. But yeah, it just kind of boggles my mind the amount of like important practical education I didn't receive growing up.
Yeah.
And that was not prioritized at all on like a state level. And so I am genuinely glad that Safety Town was there to like, in a very fun way, because driving go-karts is fun, like teach me about safety. I think that's good.
Yeah, that blows me away that they have this like dedicated location in Huntington where kids get to go on field trips. Like that makes it like fun and like it makes it seem like relevant and important.
Yeah.